Good morning. It is December 29th and I need to organize my stash. If you want a little quick look. So what I've started to do in 2022, my word was creative organization, and I organize my stash by seasonal colors that I tend to like in each season. So we basically kind of have Christmas, which is a season unto itself for me, into sort of the winter, sort of Valentine's-y, winter into spring, into summer. And down here is a whole bunch of autumn. There I have an Advent and some of my shawls that need mended, scraps, and then actually there's mohair sets in there. There's, in those little boxes. So what this does is it really helps me keep a track of it's absolute mess now because I did so much knitting recently and I've been looking for things, and so, but it helps me keep me organized because I swap. So in autumn, for example, all that was up on the top shelf and then I bring it down. So it keeps me organized. I see my stash, helps me make sure that, little insects haven't gotten in there. So now it's time to bring down the Christmas and stick it down this end and, bring the real winter and then into spring in there. But it's definitely just, I hate it when it gets jammers up to the top like that. And I'm joined, Tashi, editing Susan, popping in to say her podcast is Stitches and Starlight. I said it backwards, and that's actually a different podcast. So Tashi's podcast is Stitches and Starlight. Podcast has started. She's doing a stash down for 2023 and a no buy. And I'm going to do kind of like I did last year, where basically from January till autumn, I didn't buy patterns or yarns. It just basically saves my money for when autumn time sales come, etc. This year I'm making an exception. Hopefully we're going to the US in March and I might attend a fiber festival. But I'm going to Yarndale with some friends from Irish Fiber Crafters in September. So yeah, I'll be saving my money for that. And so other than buying advent calendar, I'm not really going to be purchasing a bunch of new yarns. So my goal is to knit up, I'm doing it in skeins because that's kind of how my brain works. So I'd like to knit up 50 skeins this year. And most of them are 100 grams, but some are 50. And it's still a skein. I'm going to count it in that sort of way. So anyways, I'm going to organize this up. And then let's look at the wall of promise. Okay, so I was jokingly calling this my wall of shame, but as Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast said, it's a wall of promise. And it is. I really like that. So these are my whips. This is actually a project that's not a whip yet that I want to cast on at some point. I've gathered the yarn. There's a couple down there. And this is a January cast on. Ranunculus, nearly done. Out in the living room, I am working on my Jericho's Rose Advent shawl or jumper. That hopefully will be done today or tomorrow. So these are the main ones, and I have two other whips that aren't on the wall. One is for spring and one is for autumn. So I'll get that spring one out soon. So there's a bunch of yarn in here. Some of it I will count towards my stash down, but obviously not like the ones that are nearly done. But this will count because I haven't even cast on. I won't count my Aurora cabin shawl. Should I? Maybe I should. I haven't decided. I mean, it's literally just that. Like, I've just started it. Anyway, I don't know. Will I count that in the stash down? I'll have a think about what yarns I'm going to count in the stash down. Some of the ones here will count, others won't. This is a great big jumper for Tom, which I bought yarn specifically for. A lot of yarn because he's a guy. So we'll think about that. So these are my morning time thinks. Are you doing any special yarny projects for this year? As in like year long Are you doing a year-long make-along? Are you trying to see how much stash you can get out? Are you trying to build your stash? Are you a new knitter and you want to, build a yarn pantry, which is a wonderful thing to have as long as you don't let it get out of control. So what kind of limits do you set for yourself? Do you use or guidelines? Yeah, guidelines. Yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but water is actually blowing upwards. Can you see that? Oh, that's probably too far. There's the Aran Islands. There's the cliffs on the Aran Islands.
The best surf places anywhere.